Liverpool lose out to Arsenal in the Community Shield in a penalty shootout. Unfortunately, it was young Raheem Brewster that missed the penalty for the Reds, but I'm not going to hold that against them. I'll never hold anybody having the courage to step up and take a penalty kick against them. Fair play to Arsenal. Congratulations to them. Penalty shootouts always a lottery, but the real questions, ladies and gentlemen, have to be asked about the 90-minute performance from the Reds, and we have to go right back to the starting 11 today. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind, and I'm sure there's no doubt in all of your minds as well, that Naby Keita should have started that game today. We seen what we got with Naby Keita when he came on along with Minamino in the second half. We looked flat and lifeless and void of ideas in the first 45 minutes today. Sadio Mane again missed a couple of good opportunities for the Reds, and we'll go through the game in more detail as the chat starts to fill up. It is a little bit of tinge of disappointment, but it is what it is. It's just more minutes in the legs before September the 12th and that important first league game at home to newly promoted Leeds United. And look, we'll want to get off to a win there with 3 points. But look, let's look back on today's game and what we had. And the first 45 minutes was quite frankly dreadful from a Liverpool perspective. Aubameyang got a fantastic goal for Arsenal. Good work from him down the left-hand side. He was left one-on-one with young Neco Williams, and that should not have happened. Turned him inside out, got to the edge of the box and fired an unbelievable strike past Alisson to make it 1-0 to Arsenal. And then it was up to us to get back into the game, and we did so late into the second half. But again, the first half performance for me was just frustrating. This didn't look like Liverpool. We looked slow. We looked a little bit void of ideas, as I said earlier on. We weren't moving the ball quickly. Firmino, I thought, was horrendous. I have to say, I thought he was horrendous today. As soon as Naby Keita came on, you seen how that position should have been played. You seen. Now, I'm not saying that Naby was sitting in front of our back four, but Firmino was getting into the half space quite a lot of time and was just doing nothing, just not even demanding the ball, just showing but not calling for it. Naby came onto the pitch immediately. He wanted the ball everywhere. You could see the difference in the midfield. So I would have liked to have seen Naby start the game today, but look, everything's great in hindsight, isn't it? Vote for man of the match is up on the Flick Chat app if you guys want to go over there and cast your vote. There is a link in the description of the stream as well, but I'm going to hand it over to you guys before I summarise the game more and see how you feel after that one. Connor said we looked much better with Minamino in the 10. The 4-2-3-1 was class. Mitchell Costello, thank you for the super chat, mate. He says, I thought Keita looked tired. Minamino changed the game for me. Everyone looked sluggish. I thought Keita and Minamino, I thought they were both excellent when they came on, Mitchell. I thought Gomez looked very tired personally towards the end of the game. But look, we have to understand as well, these guys will have been put through a lot by Jurgen Klopp in that mini pre-season as well. So they will be fairly tired. But look, that's no excuse. We should have beaten Arsenal. We're a better team than Arsenal in my humble opinion, but congratulations to Arsenal. Sadio Mane missed a couple of chances that he quite simply should not have missed. But in the first half we created very little. Obviously Virgil van Dijk's goal was ruled out, and correctly ruled out. He was offside, no arguments with that whatsoever. But in the second half, particularly when we made the changes, I thought we started to look more like ourselves. Naby Keita, Minamino made a massive impact on the game as well. It was just a little bit too little too late. We managed to get an equaliser and a very good goal, well worked from Minamino and Mohamed Salah. Takumi then ends up, a couple of little ricochets in the box, ends up at his feet and he slides it past Martinez to make it 1-1. And from that point, it was anybody's game, and both sides had a little few minutes where they attacked and kind of flattered to deceive, but nobody could find a winner. And when it goes to penalty kicks, you know it's a lottery, and Arsenal players held their head. 5 out of 5 in the penalty shootout. Unfortunately for us, it was young Raheem that hit the crossbar. When you try and go high like that and lift it above the keeper, it's got to be inch perfect, or you do raise the risk of that happening, and I'm not going to hold it against them. And you could see the team consoling young Raheem Brewster as soon as the game was over as well. You got a kiss from Curtis Jones, an embrace from Andy Robertson, and look, it is what it is. You have to have balls to take a penalty. So I've always said it, and I'm going to say it again, I will never hold missing a penalty against the player, because it takes guts to stand up there and take one. Vinny said our midfield, Vinny P said our midfield had zero energy. Sadio and Mo were rusty but gave it a go, said Sidney Fisher. Yeah, look, I think of the front three for me, Sadio, the ones that started, Sadio was the best of a bad bunch. Firmino and Salah wasn't quite their day today, and Bobby went off to be replaced late on in the game, but I do agree that they just didn't look themselves. They just didn't get into the game enough. Salah I thought was particularly quiet, but maybe that's because a lot more of our work came down that left hand side. I don't know, that's just my humble take on the game. A lot of people overreact to saying we need new signings. Look, One thing we can say for certain is a midfield that had Thiago, Jordan Henderson and Naby Keita in it would be a completely different midfield to what we've seen today. That midfield would have ideas, that midfield could provide protection, and that midfield could unlock and help unlock a low block defence. We know that. We can imagine Keita and Thiago, the way they move the ball, the way they change position, the way they find the spaces. It would be a different midfield altogether, and we wouldn't be forced into going wide or playing those long diagonal balls that we seem to try and set up opportunities today. Yes, we're capable of moments of magic in and around the 18-yard box, but we shouldn't have to rely on those moments of magic. We should have more creativity from other areas of pitch, and that's why Liverpool fans, myself included, want the club to go out there and sign somebody like a Thiago that can make things tick. And again today you see what the miss of Jordan Henderson, or what the lack of Jordan Henderson gives to this team. We missed him badly today. He makes us tick. And look, it is what it is. Arsenal won the game. Congratulations to them. Let me see how you feel. Do we need a proper striker? I did have opportunity. Usually I would answer that with no. Usually I would say to you, no, Bobby Firmino does everything that we need him to do. But there were opportunities today when Robbo got the ball on the left-hand side for two great balls across the 6-yard box, and nobody gambled. Nobody was at the back post. Nobody made a run across the front of the defender at the near post either. And that's what an out-and-out centre-forward would do. So if we had Brewster on the pitch at that point, maybe even Takumi, I would have expected that run. Yeah, it was... I can understand the calls today for a striker, and normally I wouldn't be somebody who's making those calls. Enzo said, "Hi Craig, I don't think we can win the league if we continue to play like this." I wouldn't. It's difficult because... how do I say this without sounding like I'm making excuses? We're not fully up to speed yet. We still have 13 or 14 days until the Premier League kicks off to get more minutes in our legs in training, to get up to speed, and we want to be at peak performance when the Premier League kicks off. We were missing players today. We were missing one of the best right backs in Europe in Trent Alexander-Arnold. We were missing our captain in Jordan Henderson. We didn't have the likes of the options of Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain to bring off the bench. But that being said, that's just me making excuses. We should have been capable of going out there and beating that Arsenal team today. But we just didn't show up in the first half. That first half performance is particularly annoying. I mean, we did up our game in the second half, but I'm totally bereft of excuses as to what the hell we were at in the first half. It just was horrendous. Arsenal playing like a small club, try and score one, sit back after that. That's how they beat you last time. Said, well, hello there. Yeah, but the thing is, man, they've every right to do that. If they go 1-0 up, it's up to us to break them down and turn the game around. And we left it late to get an equaliser, and then, you know, in these situations, penalties are always going to be a lottery for either side, and Arsenal held their nerve. We need Henderson in the midfield no matter what, said Danny Wrigley. I absolutely agree with you. Milner was playing defensive, attack and midfielder in that game. He was playing a bit of everywhere, Jimmy Milner. He was the only, I won't say bright spark in our midfield in the first half, but he certainly worked the hardest in the midfield in the first half and was trying to make things happen in and around the penalty area. What else we got? Sloppy from Liverpool, said John. Yes, it was, mate. No argument there whatsoever. Thiago, please come soon. I'm with you on that one, mate. I want Thiago to join as well, and hopefully we hear something on that during the week. But look, it just wasn't good enough today from the Reds. There's no two ways about it. Should have started Gomez at right back, said Dan Moon. Look, it's easy in hindsight, but what I will say and what I said during the game is this game will be invaluable to Neco Williams moving forward. He will have learned a lot from this game. He was up against one of the best strikers in the business in Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who, you know, they targeted him on that left-hand side. And just like Trent, when he was coming through, you remember there were performances where Trent would have learned a lot from. Neco Williams will learn from this. He will be coached, he will be sat back in, and the video will be played to him, and it will be a learning process. And he's a young player. You can't be somebody who wants the kids to come through and then when they're given an opportunities absolutely shoot them down. I'm never going to shoot down a youngster who's still learning the game. I will save that critiquing for the likes of the team that started in the first half today that created nothing, for a midfield with Gini Wijnaldum, who I thought was invisible. Maybe his head's already in Barcelona. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too critical. But I'm never ever going to slag off the younger players because they're only learning their trade. We need to change the system, not players, said OJ Irving. Thank you for the super chat, mate. And we did see a slight change of system there from Kloppo, and We are capable of playing in a 4-2-3-1 system as well, but will that need us to have an out-and-out striker with the likes of Raheem Brewster or somebody else in that position? I mean, odds are Brewster's probably going to go out on loan to a Premier League side for the season, so let's wait and see. I mean, the transfer window's open until October the 5th. We all know or want another attacking player. We all want Thiago, but Klopp has said and has been put out in the media, we need to move on a midfielder to make space in the midfield. It's already a packed area with 7 first-team midfielders there, and then young players coming through as well. So it's set up to be a frustrating time between now and September the 12th when the Premier League kicks off. But we will be ready to go on the first day of the season. I've got no doubt about that. I'm going to hand it over to you guys and see what you have to say. Minamino changed the system after he came on, said City Fisher. I'm usually a bit pessimistic, but I'm not going into meltdown. Yes, we probably need a bit more clinical finishing, but let's not make it a catastrophe, said Oksana. I agree. That's fair comment. Arsenal getting Thiago. Yeah, okay, fair enough, mate. Thiago wants Liverpool. Liverpool want Thiago. It's just a matter of if the numbers add up. How can Chelsea spend so much, said John West? Because they've got an owner that dipped into his pocket and handed 150, 200 million to Frank Lampard to spend. That's quite simply the answer. KEITA should have started, said Beats Texas. I 100% agree with you, mate. No doubts whatsoever. I'm not having this result, said the chosen one. Well, unfortunately, mate, there's not much any of us can do about it other than hope that they all learn from this and that we start off a lot better when the Premier League campaign gets underway in September the 12th, because we won't be regaining our title if we show up and play like that week in and week out. We're capable of much better than that. We should be much better than that. My job's not to come on here and make excuses for the players. My job as a fan is just to come on here and give my opinion. And quite frankly, we showed up for maybe a 20-minute, 25-minute spell in that game, and the rest of it we were bang average. And that's the truth of the matter. Why is Brewster taking a penalty? Because he's got the balls to step up and take a penalty. If you're going to have a go with somebody for missing a penalty, just leave the chat now, because it takes courage to step up there and take a penalty. And somebody will miss eventually, whether it be a save from the goalkeeper. Why wouldn't Brewster take a penalty? He's a striker. He knows where the goal is, and he clipped the top of the bar, and I'm never going to hold that against him. Same way I didn't hold any other players missing penalties against them. It's a lottery. I don't know. Some people are just too vindictive, I think. Why the fuck wouldn't Brewster take a penalty? He's a striker. Striker who's in goal scoring form. 11 goals in 21 for Swansea. 3 in pre-season for Liverpool. Fredzo said, I don't blame Brewster. He has the balls. Exactly. And none of those players inside that dressing room will hold any ill feeling towards Raheem Brewster. We win as a team. We lose as a team. And that has to be said amongst our fan base as well. We celebrate when we win, and we take it on the chin when we lose, and we talk about it, but we don't go pointing the fingers of blame at young kids who miss a penalty in a penalty shootout. That's just sad. Eclipse Toxic said you can't blame Brewster. Do you think we'll sign players? Yes, I still think we'll get 1 or 2 in, if I'm being honest with you. Naveen, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC, buddy. I see you've renewed your membership. Great to have you back with us. Welcome back to the family. And again, I hope to see you in the Discord group and, of course, in the Flick Chat app as well. I'm going to go over to the Flick Chat app now and see how the Man of the Match vote is going. See what you guys have decided. Right, Man of the Match poll. So far, it's a close one. Naby Keita's on 29%. Robbo's on 29%, Minamino's on 25%. So there is still time for you to get over there and cast your vote, ladies and gentlemen. There's a link in the description for the Flick Chat app. It's free to use and free to download. And you can also just go into the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store and download the Flick Chat app and then find the Anfield Agenda group. Will you be pissed if you don't sign anyone? Yes, Adia. Quite honestly, yes. When we know there's a midfielder the calibre of Thiago available, when we know players the likes of Ismaila Sarr are available for realistic money, then yes, I will be pissed off if we don't improve. Our front three, need help. We need options. We need to push them more. They're a little bit too comfortable for my liking in that they know there's nobody breathing down their throat. Takumi put in a great performance today, and that might give the manager a little bit of an idea of what he can do with Takumi. He showed glimpses of the fact that he's getting used to the league and getting used to what Klopp wants from him. So he may push them a little bit, but Origi for me isn't up to the standard. He has moments of brilliance. Shaqiri can't be relied on. He's consistently injured, as he is right now. I just think we need reinforcements in the attacking position. And Thiago probably will be a case of Genie out, Thiago in, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. It's going to be a long time between now and on October the 5th when the window shuts. Roger said, thank you for being such a good host. No problem whatsoever, mate. Thank you for being here with us. Minamino played well, said Nim Hoff. Absolutely spot on, mate. Him and KEITA I thought were brilliant when they came on. Charlie Martins thinks Robbo was man of the match. Well, make sure, Charlie, that you go over and cast your vote, mate, on the Flick Chat app. Takumi is a midfield player. No, he's not. He's for Liverpool. He's a forward, mate, and he has been a forward since he's come to the club. He's played right, he's played left, he's played through the centre. But I think when he comes into Liverpool, when he's used, he will be used in an attacking position, which you can see when he's come on. This is time to sign Thiago, said Ronald. Mate, you are not the only one who was sitting around hoping and waiting that transfer happens. What we do know is on Thiago, James Pearce has said that Liverpool do hold an interest in the player. But again, the same note keeps getting relayed around that we have too many players in midfield, and if we're to free up a space, then maybe Thiago. So it will be a case of looking to move somebody on, whether that's Grujic, whether that's Wijnaldum, Wilson. I don't know who it might be, but we do need to move on a couple of players. Imagine Mbappe and Thiago. Well, look, the Mbappe thing is a little bit far-fetched, to be honest with you. Feel bad for Raheem. Why did it have to be him? I thought the very same, Liam, when he missed the penalty. Of all the players out there, I just felt for the young lad. You always do in these positions. Let's see how the first few games go. Then we can riot, said John West. Look, we'll get off to a good start. We've got Leeds at home at 5:30 on September the 12th. That's on Sky Sports. Second game away at Chelsea is going to be a difficult game. One that we have a chance to lay down a marker that we are defending our Premier League title this season. And then the third game against Arsenal. That's a Monday night kick-off. That's also on Sky Sports, by the way. Brewster should have come on earlier. He's a natural goal scorer and something that we lack. I was a bit shocked, Daniel, as well, that we didn't see Raheem get a little bit of an earlier chance to impress. But he came on with a 2 minutes, a minute and a half to go there. It was really just bringing him on for penalties. Champions 20 said, I'm nervous about the Chelsea game. It's definitely one that caught my eye when the early fixtures were released. Obviously, with Chelsea having spent the money they have improving their squad, they're going to want to lay down a marker. It is going to be at Stamford Bridge. It's going to be a difficult game, but it's a chance for us as well to prove why we are Premier League champions and to show that there's still a long way for the likes of Chelsea and United to play catch-up. But we need to be better than we were today, that's for sure. We played well. We don't need to panic. We didn't really play well, though, mate. We played well for 25 minutes of that game, maybe. First half was just terrible, if I'm being quite frank. If City sign Messi, we win nothing, ruining football, said Charlie Martin. Again, it's all if, ands or buts. Maybe it's mind games or power games from Lionel Messi with regards to that move. Even if Barca do agree to let him go, are they going to let him walk out of his contract for free, or will Manchester City have to pay, I don't know, between 1 and 200 million for the lad? We'll wait and see. We need to strengthen, said Mwaba, and I don't disagree with you, mate. Craig, have you seen Sergio Dest, next USA Wonder Kid? I have not, Vinny P, but I will have a look at him, mate, and thank you for the suggestion. Minamino's best position is the Firmino role at Beach, Texas. That is where he would have played normally. Yes, I would see. It's difficult to get everybody on the pitch and play the system that we play. So it may be a tweaker system that changes things, but again, we should be able to play a myriad of systems, and sometimes we start with one system and it'll change throughout the game, and we as fans can get a little bit caught up on it at times. Cameron said, crying for a striker now. Do you personally think Thiago will come and when? Love the content from Keane O'Brien. Do I think he'll come? Yes. When? I don't know. I don't know, man. That's my honest answer. Yeah, I don't know. It seems to be a case of wait and see what happens with Genie at the moment. That seems to be where we are. We know that a deal has pretty much been agreed with Thiago's representatives. We know that Thiago wants to come to Liverpool. We know that he said goodbye to his Bayern Munich teammates. The same stuff I've been saying to you guys day in and day out. But nobody has a time frame. We've heard the clubs are supposed to start talks this week, but then how can we hear that and then hear from the Liverpool side of things that there's no room in our midfield till we move somebody out? So again, it's going to have to remain to be seen, but I think we will get Thiago before the window closes. Origi, Grujic, Wilson, Shaqiri and the Ajaria money may be genius. There's money there, said Liam Christie. We need to change to a 4-4-2, said Baba Gigo. Again, I don't know how we fit our front three into that formation unless Bobby's dropping back into midfield. We need Werner. Oh wait, said John. Yeah, unfortunately, mate, yes. Thanks for responding. No problem, Keno. What happened to the 175 million? Mate, I am John W. Henry. Do you know what I mean? I can't sit here and give you a breakdown of the club's financials because I don't have access to them. Like you, I'm just a fan. I wonder myself where a lot of the money has gone, but then again, I also understand where we are with regards to the global pandemic. So look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call that one a day. Unfortunately, it wasn't the result that we wanted, but hey, we are where we are. Thank you very much for joining me today. I'll be back on Monday with a late night agenda and all the latest LFC transfer news. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up as well. It didn't work out to be our day today, but hey, we'll come again. Up the Reds.